into the Brooks Bench with your host, Brooke, aka Shiggy, and my co-host, Brooke.
What's up, y'all?
What's up?
Brooke's back!
Hey!
Brooke's back. But before we get into it, and before we get into my celebration of the day, hit that subscribe button. We appreciate your guys' support. Let me tell you, it's been a long season, which we'll talk about. Also, like, comment, share, all the above.
Subscribe.
Yeah, please. Thank you. Follow us on all social media, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. We're there every single day, basically. But let's get into the March Madness bracket. Megan has the standings for us.
Well, Brooke, you won. Run it.
Let's go!
And I just want to preface this as Brooke quit about 4 weeks ago. Brooke said, my bracket's done. I'm not winning it. It's a wrap. And then all of a sudden,
listen, I was like 20th at one point. I was literally like 20 and I was done. I think what it was that second round really threw me off and I was mad. And then I don't know what happened, but I won. So.
It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy.
I could have beat you. I could have beat you if I didn't put a low tying score.
Oh, at the end?
Yeah.
No.
Does that factor into it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because
tiebreaker.
We kind of had the same points, but your tiebreaker, your points that you put for the total was higher than mine and closer to the actual score.
What was the actual? What did I put? 132?
What was it, like 180 something? Or what was the final score?
What? Was it really?
It was high.
Oh, wow. I don't know.
Maybe it wasn't 180. I was probably exaggerating, but
yeah,
it was still
I'm going to need you to fact check yourself.
Honestly, I think what held me in to win this was that I had the final four. Like, I had those four teams and I had the right winners out of that.
Yeah.
And
that's what helped you.
Yeah,
no,
you
real.
get like 1,600 points for that. So.
Yeah, no, for real. Because, I messed up with that USC pick. I would have been closer if I don't know. I was feeling like crazy. I also filled out like 10 different brackets and I entered all my brackets somewhere. So I was just like, let me see. I want to try. And I went crazy in ours. I don't know what I was thinking. The total points was 162, by the way. So I don't know what you guys did. That's pretty high.
I was close.
Yeah.
That's pretty high. But who was second and third, Megan? We'll give our top three.
Oh. And then Don's Gucci sweater. Or sweatshirt or whatever it is.
Oh!
Yeah,
I was pulling for you because
third.
I like your name.
Yeah.
I love it. Don's Gucci sweater.
I have a question. What was Shiggy's ranking?
I was like 6.
Yeah, I think she's top
6.
10.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's better than how we started because we were nervous none of us were going to be in the top
we
10.
were like at least 15 to 20.
And then we would have had to cancel the podcast.
Yeah, we would have. And you know what?
Mama Shea came in 4th.
Yeah, my mom came in 4th. That's crazy.
Wow.
I know. She picked one good upset and that set her up really pretty good later in the rounds. But yeah, that USC pick killed me. Trash, but I'm top 10, so whatever. Okay, let's get into it. We got a lot of news to cover, a lot of drama we'll be getting into. Okay, Virginia Tech's new head coach, Megan Duffy. I forgot where she's from. Anyone?
Tennessee, right?
No.
Was it at the Tennessee college?
No, she's from some weird school.
Oh, never mind then.
Someone please look that up for me. But I'll move on. Tennessee hired Kim Caldwell. That's who they hired from Marshall. Controversial pick, by the way. They're saying, why did you get rid of what's her name? Kelly Harper?
Yeah,
and you're trying to gamble.
It's not like she was that bad.
No,
she just couldn't get over that little hump. But she's not a bad coach.
And I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I think I thought she went to Virginia Tech because that's what I was hoping she would do.
Oh, you followed this coach?
No, but I mean, that's crazy. She, like you guys said, she was a good coach. And then they did a side-by-side with her and Pat Summitt. And it was like, she had just barely done better in the first 5 years than Pat Summitt did.
Yeah.
Obviously, she went on to be great forever, but...
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? We were talking about this last week is that these coaches are getting like cut with 8 seasons of experience because they're not winning. But then they showed like how long it took Gino, Dawn, who'd you say? Pat Summitt.
Coach Tara.
13 seasons, 15 seasons. And all these coaches are getting cut in 6, 7, 8 seasons in. So it's just like
the biggest difference though, it's hard because all those coaches, like if we take Gino, he came into UConn and that program was awful, like you're coming into Tennessee where Pat Summitt built that program. It's hard to, so it does suck, but I don't agree with them getting rid of her for that because she was doing good. I mean, it's hard to also recruit when you have the South Carolinas and the Iowas and the UConns and the USCs and Stanford. It's hard. So
Megan Duffy is from Marquette, if anyone wanted to know. So, okay, we got some movement. Angel Reese declares for the draft. I think that's
good move.
I think she should. I like it. Haley Van Lith enters transfer portal. We also like it. We also like it. Kentucky. Hey, no, I saw something and I told you guys there's a rumor she's going to Washington.
No, I don't think she's coming back to the West Coast.
She's from Washington. She's from Washington or Oregon.
No, she has embodied the true Southern spirit. That girl is staying in the South or in the East Coast.
Yeah, I don't know where she's gonna go. I like Kentucky. That's interesting. Cause I'm scared for Kentucky. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Kenny Brooks.
I know. Sorry. I agree.
I don't know. But with Kentucky, Georgia Amore goes to Kentucky. We all knew it. I mean, come on. She was going to go there. I can't believe you didn't declare Georgia. I'm still upset about that. Okay, 14 million views on ESPN for the Iowa versus UConn game. Most watched women's college basketball game on ESPN. Congrats. I'm sure this game
show us the final.
Wow.
You know what?
We need
I won't be surprised if it doesn't hit that because it's on the West Coast. It was at noon. Why is this such an early game?
I don't know. Prime time.
It's not prime time.
That's crazy that this was not a prime time game.
Yeah.
Whatever. Next year, make it prime time. Okay, end of season awards. Center of the year, Cameron Brink. Power forward of the year, Kiki Iriafen. Small forward of the year, Madison Booker. Shooting guard of the year, Juju Watkins. And point guard of the year, Caitlin Clark. Congratulations. Nice. All right, number 1 recruit, Sarah Strong, commits to UConn. Congratulations. I feel like
happy for
that was a no-brainer. But that's just me.
They need that.
Yeah.
They need that.
UConn's going to be good next year, though.
Yeah. UConn's hella good.
Yeah. Lastly, WNBA announced a multi-year extension with Prime Video. Congratulations, Prime.
Listen, I'm going to go on my little Brooks rant for a second. I don't know how I feel about all the streaming services anymore. There's too many of them. They all cost so much. Can we just pick a platform?
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Or let's just all go back to cable.
That's never going to happen.
Everyone
wants money.
I don't need to be complaining. I have Prime, but it's also it just, I don't know. If I didn't have Prime, I would be so mad.
Yeah, it's like another streaming service you have to get if you want to watch it.
You have to,
yeah. No, I understand that part. Okay, but let's get into the recap. Oh, we're going to get into some controversial topics, I feel like, talking about every single thing we're about to talk about. Let's start easy. South Carolina defeats NC State. NC State hung in there for a little bit. And then South Carolina said, it's a wrap. Defeating them 78-59. Cardoso, 22 points. Raven Johnson, 13 points. Isaiah James.
So good.
Oh my gosh.
So good. And you know what? I was watching them and all I could think about was Megan kept saying this at the beginning of the year. Yeah. And I was just like, I love the NC State team. As they progressed, I just loved them more and more and more.
Yeah. Yeah. They said I think she could declare this year if she wants to, or she can come back. I think she's one of those.
I would come back.
I think I would come back
One
too.
more go.
I would too.
One more go.
But yeah, she had an outstanding March Madness. It was just unbelievable. But let's get into the Iowa UConn game. I feel like there's a lot of interesting topics we can talk about in this game.
This one was heartbreaking, man.
This one felt like I played my senior year game all over again. I wanted to die in a hole. Brooke, I'm surprised you weren't as heartbroken just because you're a UConn fan. I think you were more cheering
because I'm telling you, it was the bracket. I wanted to win my bracket more than I cared about these teams in the moment. I know it's so bad, dude. It is so bad. Listen, I genuinely cannot control these feelings that I have when competition is on the line. And this is why I'm struggling of even doing this shit anymore. Because I just find myself rooting for the teams that I genuinely are rooting against them.
Yeah.
But honestly, I was fine in the Final Four. Any of them could have won, and I'd be excited right now. And I think that was the first time I've also felt that in a while. But yeah, also UConn was making dumb mistakes where I'm like, come on now.
Yeah. Well, as everyone knows, newsflash, Iowa defeated UConn 71-69 with the controversial last second call. Offensive foul. And I've seen some crazy stuff on the internet. Okay, Twitter's crazy. Twitter is Twitter, X, whatever. I'll never call it X. Okay, but it's a crazy atmosphere. Let me tell you, because it's literally like you can tell who is like a competitor who has played sports, who has followed the game for so long, and the people that have just joined the community and have just started watching sports and maybe have never played any sport in their life, okay? And I feel like this one call, like you could see both sides. And the disrespect that I saw, like to these like legends, these icons in the game, oh my God, these people paved the way for Caitlin Clark to exist, in my opinion. I mean, come on. And you, all of a sudden, for example, the Breanna Stewart thing. Did you see the Breanna Stewart interview, Brooke?
Of her saying she's not a GOAT because she hasn't won a...
Yeah. Did you see? Okay, go ahead.
I do agree to a certain extent, but I think it's also that's because people are choosing to make that a thing of like now Caitlin Clark won't be considered a GOAT because she doesn't have a national championship. But it also like I mean think back like name 5 people that never won a national championship and are one of the greatest ever. It's really hard, but it's also like we have forced ourselves to only look at that, which sucks. But yeah, I don't agree. Look at all the records she freaking broke. It's crazy. And also, she came from a great program and won every year. Like, come on.
Yeah. So the thing is, but how the people came at Breanna Stewart.
Yeah.
Acting like she's not one of the greatest college basketball players yet, let alone one of the greatest WNBA players, was insane. Like, okay, let's chill out. We can all have different
if you're
opinions.
Coming for Gabby
we're all
enough to where she deletes her social media. It's bad news.
And that's another thing. Let's time out because before there was a Gabby Marshall, there was an Angel Reese getting death threats. There was who else? I'm sure we can name a lot that are getting death threats, but they made this one national news. Like there's so many of these kids that are getting death threats. Like, okay, why are you taking it that far? Like I get that. Me and Brooke are competitors. Let me tell you, like we will say some crazy things
off the wall.
Let me tell you, I will never go into someone's DMs and come at them. Absolutely not. That is literally insane. And I know we're crazy competitors. So that's...
But we've seen this, right? Like, yeah. I remember, I don't know, that was high school or something. And was it Boise State versus UNR or something football? Or the Boise State kicker missed the field goal. And he was getting death threats after that game. And it was like a huge game. Like it was like a big bowl game or something. Yeah. And he was getting death threats. It's crazy. Like people chill.
Yeah. Chill. I think it takes a special type of person to do that. It is so crazy. But like, yeah. No, it's just so much that like, I think the one thing that irritated me most about the game, like in the moment, yeah, you're mad that the refs took away the game. Like, just let the players decide it. Like, okay, foul or not, the refereeing in that game sucked on both sides. We can go through that whole game, and I'll show you probably 5 moving screens that were called. Like, come on. Like, let's be for real. If you played a game, if you've ever played a sport in your life, you know how pissed you would be if that whistle was blown? Let's be for real. Megan, has that ever happened to you? Well, then you're lucky.
But I know how frustrating it would be.
But you know what I'm saying? It's just one of those where it's like, it's the last seconds of the game. Let's see what happens. Now we don't know. Yeah. Now the ref really just exhaled in their dumb whistle.
And listen, you should pop up my one message I sent you guys at the beginning of the game. I called that ref. I don't remember which one it was, but I was like,
was it the girl with the bun?
It's not good.
No, she was atrocious.
Because there was other games I was watching and she was reffing and I was like, what in the hell was that call?
You know what's crazy? Yeah. I when you pointed her out, I had never seen her till that game. And I was like, you're right, she's atrocious. I don't even know. She reffed a couple of the March Madness games and there was a couple calls where I was like, horrible. No. Yeah. Awful. Anyway,
it just sucks because you can look at that whole game and see so many bad calls.
So many,
even despite that last one, there's so many calls that just changed the dynamics of that game, and it just sucked, man.
And you know what?
Once again, both sides. It wasn't
it's both sides.
On UConn. Oh, yeah. It was both sides.
Yeah. And the thing is, Paige Beckers is right. Not one call determines a game. It's more of the competitive
But when you got multiple calls, Paige, it's multiple calls. These refs suck.
Yeah, no, I get that.
He handled it very well.
Yeah, exactly.
Class act.
Exactly. It's obviously not that one call. It's just in the moment as a competitor and you're hyped. We just came off a Nika Mule 3. They got a freaking steal. They're about to run their play and you hear a whistle. That right there, like, we're here, and then you hear the whistle and you're like, you're mad at the world because your adrenaline's already pumping, you know? So, like, I get that. I get it. But no, the most frustrating thing is the social media and the new fans that are coming at people that have been watching the game, who have gone through the growth of the game, coming at legends. Did you guys actually pause? This will be my last thing on this. Did you guys see the Asia Wilson video that came out?
Oh, when somebody asked her if she played?
Yeah. Absolutely not. You cannot. No, you are not going to do that. I was like, see, this is what I'm talking about. These new fans are trying to claim things and they haven't been around. How can you say that to Asia Wilson?
Can I make a request? I want to make a request now that we're talking about Asia Wilson being on there. Okay. I love the Diana and Bird, or the Trossi and Bird show. Can we not make them on huge national games so I can pay attention to them? Can we sprinkle them throughout, like, you know, conference championships and stuff where I'm not having to pay attention to the game and I can listen to them at the same
they're
time?
Funny. They're funny.
Because they're great. They're so funny.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? Another thing, look, there's these topics that are because Diana, another reason, if you've been watching the sport, you know Diana is a hard ass on anyone and she doesn't care. She'll come for your head. And she said like a general statement like reality's coming or a reality check is coming. She got so much slack for saying that, but it's true. Everyone that has a welcome to the WNBA moment has Diana Taurasi in their top moments. Because Diana's going to come for your head. That's just Diana. Like, I don't, like, it's funny at this point. Like, you just have, it's just her competitive spirit. But she is crazy.
If you haven't watched the clip on her and Kelsey Plum talking, go watch it.
Yeah.
You'll get a little giggle out of it. And then if you do giggle out of it, maybe rethink some of the comments that you throw on social media.
Yeah. No, it's.
And I hope to see all these fans in the WNBA for Caitlin as well.
You better transfer. You better transfer over.
Don't quit now. Don't jump off the train now. Please stay on.
You talked her up. You had her back. Now have her back in the WNBA. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, and you know what? Now that we transitioned to the WNBA,
there we go.
Segment. You know what bothers me is Caitlin Clark's probably going to go number 1 to Indiana Fever.
Yeah.
But just because of that isn't the sole reason the Aces are moving to T-Mobile Arena for the second time this season. Okay.
Yeah.
It's the Aces. Yes, Caitlin Clark might have a little bit of a factor in that one because of the hype. But in general, they coming off back-to-back championships. They sold out their season tickets before she declared for the draft. And they already had a game over there before this as well. So please don't say that it's only Caitlin Clark. Like, trust us, we're wanting to get those tickets too. Like,
I couldn't get it.
But it's not solely because of that. Please give the WNBA their flowers when it's due.
And you know what? I tried to get Indiana Fever tickets. I couldn't. And the reason I wanted to is because I wanted to see Aaliyah Boston. Thank you very much.
Right.
So there's other reasons to see Indiana. But no, for real. I really wanted to go to that game. So maybe whoever wants to resell their ticket, tell me. Because I want to go. Yeah, for cheap, the low. Don't come at me with no $200 ticket. Because we get WNBA tickets. What was that, like $80 last year? Okay? No, no, but for real, it's gonna be an interesting time. We'll be going over our WNBA mock drafts next week because right before the actual draft, which is crazy that they have these kids play these Final Fours and they're like, all right, time to get drafted. That's
so brutal. Like, in reality, that's possibly, depending on how far they go in playoffs and what team they are, that is a full year of hardcore basketball.
Yeah. That's insane. Is brutal. That's crazy. But yeah. I don't know how they do it, but they do it. bless their souls. But let's get into this championship game. We're getting a little off topic here. Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
South Carolina, undefeated national champions. If I had a Dawn Staley jersey, I've been searching, okay? Someone point me in the direction of a Dawn Staley jersey. I can't find one. I know there's some out there. I've seen them.
Dude, Nike, come out with a retro, like,
please, someone, something. Like, I cannot do this. Dawn is my GOAT. Send all the haters to me. No, I'm just saying. No, like, for real. How do you hate Dawn Staley? But let's talk about the game. I'm getting off. Okay, let's talk about it. Begin the game.
Shout out to the freshmen. Hands down.
Well, hold on. The beginning of the game was crazy.
The beginning of the game was slow.
Beginning of the game, Iowa came out like they were going to win the national championship game. Slow. But you know what? I didn't panic. Huh, Megan? I looked at Dawn, and Dawn was like this on the bench.
Dawn sat down.
Yeah, because she got a warning at the beginning of the game.
We're fine.
She had to watch her P's and Q's.
No, for real. I said, okay, she's not tripping. It's going to be fine. And then South Carolina inched away. And hey, you're right, Megan. Tessa Johnson with all those threes.
Yep.
Fantastic.
It was them. That was the game changer.
Fantastic performance.
The freshman off the bench. I agree.
What they score? 37-0 off bench points, right? Between Iowa and South Carolina.
Well, Iowa doesn't have much of a bench, so I'd hope it'd be that high of a margin.
But that's what it came down to.
But you know what? It was already going to be hard. Iowa plays what? 6-7 people, maybe an eighth if there's in foul trouble. And South Carolina's to a T on the rotation. Around the same time, she's going to switch certain people in. And it's just like, how do you keep up with fresh legs? You can't. It's going to wear you down. Obviously, Iowa came out swinging. I was like, oh, snap. Then they got cold. They got tired.
Yeah, I agree. I think, honestly, I really hope that, I mean, there's going to be really great recruits that go into South Carolina, but I hope there's good recruits that are going into Iowa because the underclassmen on both those teams are so good. Like, Hannah Stolke on Iowa, sophomore. Fool Wiley, she's what, sophomore?
Freshman.
You have
freshman.
Or freshman. You have Watkins, who's a sophomore. Like, the underclassmen are so good that it makes me excited that
next year is going to
drop off. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, and these Iowa fans, you better keep the same energy. Keep the same energy. You stick with that team now. There's no excuses after that. You have to keep the same momentum because don't drop off when Caitlin leaves.
And I think that's what's doing where the men's side is going wrong is they're dropping off and then all these people are declaring for the draft super early. Like they're not building anything. Yeah. And that was a cool point of Iowa was that who was it? Half those kids grew up being an Iowa fan. And it's like they were building and then Dawn does a really good job building her culture. Like you have to stay and build and it takes more than a year.
Yeah. Well, that's why the men's game's falling off. You can't get attached to a player. You can't watch their growth. You can't watch the culture. They're all one and done. They all want to make money. They all want to go to the league. That's why the men's game is falling off. And that's why the women's game is growing. These kids get to watch their favorite players grow. Then they get to dream about being there for another 4 years. And then the cycle just keeps going. And that's why the women's game is growing. But though Iowa has a 5-star from California going to.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that makes me excited.
They're going to get some good recruits. South Carolina obviously is getting some good recruits, and USC, I think they're projected the number 1 recruiting class.
Draft class, right? Yeah. Recruiting class, I guess.
So it's going to be interesting. The game is growing. It's exciting. Me and Meg were talking about it. The tournament was exciting the whole way through.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
Good games. Every single game.
And you know why it was exciting? Because it's becoming more and more televised.
Yeah. Yeah.
People are actually getting to watch the excitement.
And you know what? The talent spread out. It's becoming more unpredictable of who's really going to win these games. All the games are getting closer. It's not just UConn winning. What was their streak? 111 games or something crazy.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Great. Like that. When it was that time, I was like, okay, UConn's going to win this year. Who can rival them?
Well, like, that's where South Carolina is trending. Shakes, hate to break it a little heart.
Thank you. Yeah, but it's okay. I'll root for them. No,
it's like watching Oklahoma in softball. Like, come on now.
You see, they lost to Texas.
Yeah, they've lost twice this year. Shout out.
I know. Crazy. NIL spreading the talent.
Love it.
That's another positive NIL right there. Oh, man. But hey, the draft. Let's preview the draft a little bit. I just want to touch on the draft a little bit. Do you guys think... Okay. Do you guys think Cameron Brink's going to be the second person off the board?
I honestly, possibly. Because it's LA.
Interesting.
And they need bigs.
Because, look, it's going to be... Obviously, Caitlin's number one. Then you have Cameron Brink, Aaliyah Edwards, Camila Cardoso, and Angel Reese has put her hat in the race. Is that the metaphor?
But Cameron Brink defensively is better than all of those bigs.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so you
maybe
would
not offensively, but I do think that she has a huge percentage to go to LA second round pick.
Okay,
I think Cameron Brink shoots better than all three of them.
Yeah,
so.
I would agree. She has a shot.
So okay. I think that's to replace NECA in LA.
And she holds her own for how tiny she is. Well, she's not tiny, small, like short-wise, but she's thin, you know? Like, she's not Camilla where Camilla's built, you know? She's Cameron Brink's scrawny, and she holds her own really well. So
I really think that they're gonna go for both bigs because they're replacing NECA. And you have to think they're both gonna be adjusting to the WNBA. So if you draft two, it gives them both time to like see, okay, which one of you guys can adjust better to the WNBA and get more minutes. So I don't know.
How would you rank those four then? Cameron, Aaliyah Edwards, Cardoso, Angel Reese.
Probably just that like order? That. Yeah.
Possibly. I also think Cameron Brink out of the four has the best leadership skills into like roping the team together and like positively being like, let's get it together. I think Cardoso has some room to grow in that. Aaliyah Edwards do, because those are two players that have gotten the chance to lean on other people. And then Angel Reese, she does a great job with it. I think she needs more molding from a higher, like a senior still to kind of like help her be like, okay, we need to do this instead of this.
I think with Aaliyah and with Aaliyah and Cardoso, it could be a toss-up just depending on the team. Because who has the third pick?
It's back to Indiana, no?
Go.
Or they're like 4 or 5. Indiana has
I think it just depends on what they want, because you know, Aaliyah's she moves a little bit better to me than Cardoso.
Oh my God,
a banger.
Let me not disrespect Rakia Jackson. Let me not disrespect Rakia Jackson.
I think that's why I said I think it just comes down to what the teams need after the first two. But I can see at the end of the day, I can see LA taking 2 bigs though.
Or we don't know though what deals are being made. Like last year with what's her face from Stanford? She got picked and then traded, didn't she?
Yeah, that's right.
So there's possibilities.
Yeah, no, Rakia would be in my top 3. I think it'd go Cameron.
It depends on what the teams need.
I know. It's
Chicago go in any direction. They're rebuilding.
Yeah, we'll pause because we're gonna go over that in our next episode, our mock draft. Just the heads up for all you. But I just wanted to throw Rakia in there because I totally blanked out. I didn't want to disrespect her in that conversation. But I just want to say, South Carolina is your national champions. Let me bring my old shirt out.
Brooke won first in the bracket.
Brooke won first in the bracket, even though she thought she lost 4 weeks ago. And Megan, any exciting news over there?
I came in second.
Okay. Megan's getting her hair.
Give me my participation.
Looking fresh.
Okay, but let us know. Oh my God, let us know what you guys think about all the controversy we just talked about. I know it's crazy. I posted one video. I got like heck of comments about this foul not being a foul, it being a foul.
Are you getting canceled?
No, I didn't respond. I just asked, is it a foul or not? And people went back.
You're letting people fight in the comments.
People are fighting each other.
Y'all fight each other. Don't
fight me. Yeah, I don't want that. Don't fight me.
But we don't want the smoke.
No. Sorry. Yeah. We've already gotten that early. Okay. I don't want any more. But let us know what you guys think. Hit that subscribe button. We'll have our WNBA mock draft before the draft next week. We'll be doing fantasy in the next coming weeks. I'm still trying to figure out how we're going to do it. But yeah, in the next 2 weeks, I'll have that link. You guys can join the fantasy basketball group. But other than that, hit that subscribe button, like, comment, share. I'll be back next week with the WNBA mock draft. Peace.
Bye. Peace.